Okay, true story. I was at Motor City Guitar today and I was buying some cables, and while I was getting rung up, I kept hearing this really good guitar tone coming out of the amp room. So I had to kind of pause the sale and go back there and find out what this was that I was listening to. And as I approached the guy that was playing the guitar, I noticed that he was playing through a Friedman cab, but I noticed a little black box on top of it. And as I got closer, I noticed that the black box was this guy, the Strymon Iridium pedal. And I've seen a lot of reviews on this pedal online, but I never really got a chance to hear one in person, let alone play one. So immediately I went to the staff and I'm like, hey guys, would you mind if I took this home and reviewed it tonight? And they were like, absolutely. So I took it home and I got to know it pretty quick. I plugged it into my Friedman cab at home and I was hoping that it would feel as good as it sounded in the store. So immediately I plugged it in and checked it out, and it sounded and felt amazing. I really felt like I was playing through a real amp, and it sounded like I was playing through a real amp. The setting that I like the best is the punch setting, which is like the hot rodded Marshall Plexi sound, kind of like the Brown sound that Eddie Van Halen used back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I'm not a huge Marshall fan, but for some reason, whatever they did to this thing with that, it just sounds amazing. I loved it. Now, I'm a metal player, so you know that I'm going to push anything that I'm playing through, no matter if it's a Kemper or any other modeler or a real amp or even an amp in a box like this, with an overdrive. Now, what I chose to push this with was the Precision Drive from Horizon Devices. It's kind of like my go-to pedal for most things. So, and it worked really well with it. I loved how it felt and how it sounded. It added just that nice little bit of aggression that I needed on the top end, and it tightened up the bottom end of this very well. And as you heard in the mix at the beginning of this video, it sounded really good and it stood out in the mix, and it supported all of the stuff that I was having to play there. Okay, so before we move forward with some more sound examples and some of the features that this has, let me just tell you my first impressions of it. When I got this thing out of the box, it was pretty much gig ready, and it was very easy to set up, and I didn't have to download anything to it. Although you can download more IRs into it, I didn't really have to get the sound that I needed, and setup was extremely easy. I mean, it pretty much has amp knobs on it. I mean, you basically have your bass, middle, treble, and you have drive and your volume, which is the level on it. And you even have a room knob if you want to have a little bit of ambience with it, and I'll get into that a little later. So it was really easy to set up and operate. I didn't even have to get the manual out and read anything, and I got great tone just by turning the knobs and using common sense with it. And that's one of the things I really liked about it. It's very intuitive and simple, but it has a lot of complexity to it, but it's not hard to operate. Okay, so now let's go over some of the features, and then we'll have some more sound examples after that. It comes with 9 IRs, and as I said before, you can load in more if you choose to. It has 3 different amp models in it, and basically it's listed as round, chime, and punch. So the round is more like a Fender Deluxe, the chime is kind of like a Vox type sound, and the punch is like a Marshall Plexi. And if you turn the drive past 2 o'clock on this setting, you're going to get into hot rodded Plexi territory, which was my favorite setting. You get 2 1/4-inch stereo outs on it, and you also get a headphone jack. On the room knob here, you get 3 different ambient settings. You get small, medium, and large rooms to choose from. Now, something else I want to mention is the fact that you can bypass the amp simulations on this and the impulse responses. What's cool about being able to bypass the cab simulations on this, or the IRs, is you can actually run this through a power section and a real cab if you want. Okay, so now we're going to go over some more of the sounds in an isolated track. Okay, so we covered most of the main features of this unit, and if you want to learn more, click on the link below and it'll take you to their website, and you can learn all of the in-depth things about this product as well. Once again, I want to thank Marty and all the guys at Motor City Guitar for allowing me to take this home so that I can review it for you guys. If you live in or near Michigan and you haven't been to Motor City Guitar yet, you're really missing out. It's a great store. The staff and the owner are excellent people. The owner does a lot of stuff for the community here as well, and he's very focused on having a store that doesn't try to push things on people. They want you to come in there and feel relaxed and have a great time while you're there. There's tons and tons and tons of inventory there. I would be surprised if you went in there and didn't find what you were looking for. And their prices are cheaper than anybody else's, even internet pricing. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it and share it with your friends. And to all my subscribers, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, because I got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I'll see you on the next one.